The True Power of Water by Masaru Emoto. Introduction. Although I have studied water for a long time, my educational training was not originally in science. At Yokohama City University, I majored in American-Chinese relations at the Department of International Relations, the Faculty of Humanities and Sciences. My background is in liberal arts. It wasn't until 1987, at age 43, when I encountered the wonder and mystery of water. I was working in the trading business at the time, and one of my counterparts introduced me to a type of water that worked miraculously on my foot pain. This experience fascinated me. My fascination led me to study water deeply, and over time, I became convinced that water took in information. I do not mean the information we receive when we watch television or listen to news on the radio or read articles in magazines and newspapers. Instead, I'm referring to the external factors that affect the mind and body. For example, when you look at beautiful scenery, you feel peaceful. When you listen to beautiful music, you feel your heart purified. I use information to mean all of these external factors that affect our mind and body. I have come to the conclusion, through my many years of research, that water changes its quality according to the information it takes in. Unfortunately, this rather radical idea, which upsets the common sense of conventional science, was not well received. I needed to find something that could be used as physical evidence for this idea. One day, I casually opened a book, The Day That Lightning Chased the Housewife, and Other Mysteries of Science by David Savold and Julia Lee, editor, and one heading caught my eye. Are there any identical snow crystals? This book made the point that no two crystals of snow over millions of years have ever been identical. As a child, I had learned this. It wasn't anything new. However, in the context of my search, I was thrilled by this line, which was nothing more than mere common sense. A new idea flashed in my mind. What if I freeze water and look at its crystals? Immediately, I told a young researcher to begin an experiment. The details of the experiment will be explained later in the book. After 2 months of struggle, he was able, in September 1994, to take a picture of a beautiful hexagonal frozen ice crystal. It was the first water crystal picture ever taken. Naturally, when I first published my discoveries about water in a book titled Hado no Shinri, The Truth of Wave Fluctuation, PHP Publishing, November 1994, I had no idea that my work would be received with surprise and appreciation from the world and would resonate so strongly with people. I suppose that somebody else must have thought of a similar thing and perhaps used it for a long time. Since then, I have been hooked by water. After we succeeded in photographing water crystals in 1994, we accumulated water crystal pictures for the next 5 years. During this time, I published some books on the subject of Hado, the energy or vibration inherent in all things, which will be explained in more detail later, and my water research, and I presented my work at 3 academic meetings. However, I met no one who knew about similar studies. In late 1998, I presented my work at the meeting of the Society for Human Body Science held at Tenri University. Dr. Kazuo Murakami, a well-known gene researcher and professor at Tsukuba University, currently Professor Emeritus, happened to be in the audience. His compliment was the first that I had ever received from a scientist of authority. Consequently, I made the decision to publish my photos in a book titled Messages from Water, published by my wife, Kazuko. The time of publication was set for June 1999, and I ventured to add an English translation to the whole text and to begin the subtitle with the word Sekai Hatsu, World First. Using both Japanese and English for the explanations of each picture in the book changed my life, as many foreigners paid attention to it. The book has now been translated into 23 languages. Time has flown, and it has been 6 years since then. Now I receive invitations to speak on the topics of water and Hado from all over the world. The interest in and response to the material I present has been overwhelming. About 3 years ago, I was interviewed by the public relations director at Siemens. After the interview, I heard that the company had started to provide Hado water given good energy, at its cafeteria. In Augsburg, I am invited every year to speak to approximately 1,000 people about Hado. Since 2002, they have used Hado for the name of their symposium. Hado has become an independent word in Germany. In the Netherlands, I had the honor to meet with Princess Irene, a sister of Queen Beatrix. Princess Irene is a naturalist, and she invited 7 or 8 scholars to individual discussions. I was chosen to be a representative intellectual regarding water. These discussions, including one with the famous British biologist Rupert Sheldrake, were published in Dutch. In North America, I have lectured in several cities in the United States and twice at Harvard University. I have also received many speaking requests from Canada, where there is high interest in nature and environmental issues. During my seminar tour of Canada in May 2003, I visited Victoria, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, Montreal, and Toronto, where SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome, was a major subject of attention. The more countries I visit, the more people I resonate with. However, I have yet to meet anyone doing similar work or who knows of someone doing it. An ordinary man like me, with no exceptional knowledge or connection to natural science or religion, has become a water researcher, lecturing worldwide and writing books on water, one after another, for publication and translation. This fact shows how little research on water has been conducted elsewhere and how long the true power of water has been neglected. An adult body is 70% water. Therefore, in terms of material composition, we can say that we are water. Yet water has hardly been investigated until now. Perhaps that is why we don't fully understand others, or even ourselves. Usually, we drink water without much thought. We know it is essential for life, but because of its familiarity, we rarely consciously appreciate it. Here are a few questions to ponder, questions we'll explore in this book. How seriously do you consider the characteristics of water? Are you aware that the water you drink can improve your health and life? Do you know that your consciousness can change water? When you express gratitude to water, its quality improves. When you insult or ignore it, it deteriorates. The 21st century is said to be the age of Aquarius, and in astrology, Aquarius is the sign of the water bearer. The United Nations has designated 2005 as the beginning of the International Decade for Action, Water for Life, 2005 to 2014. We must not let this be mere symbolism. Let's learn more and more about water. Let's pay closer attention to it. Then, let's learn more about ourselves. The more you understand water, the more clearly you will see yourself. As your clarity grows, you will perceive society, the nation, the world, the earth, the universe, and eventually the divine. As the Greek philosopher Thales said, water is the first principle of all things. If this book gives you a positive perspective on water and inspires thoughts on living healthily and happily, it will be my greatest joy as the author. I am indebted to Kodansha's Mr. Akihiro Maruki, Chief of the Life Culture Department, and Ms. Azusa Shinmi, Editor, for publishing this book in Japan. Thanks also to Noriko Hosoyamada for her English translation, and to Beyond Words Publishing for the English edition. On behalf of water, I express my gratitude. Finally, to all readers, I offer my love and thanks. Chapter 1: The Process of Discovery. How the research began. As mentioned in the introduction, I first considered photographing water crystals when I casually opened a book and saw the heading, "Are any two snow crystals identical?" Fortunately, my trading company employed Mr. Kazuya Ishibashi, a researcher who had studied applied sciences in his doctoral program at Kumamoto University. Naturally, he was skilled in microscopic observation. I leased a high-precision microscope and instructed him to photograph ice crystals. Mr. Ishibashi looked at me skeptically, but I insisted. "I'm certain we can photograph water crystals. Absolutely." This young man was doubtful. With a serious expression, he said, "Mr. Emoto, my knowledge and experience tell me we won't succeed." I replied, "It can be done. You may doubt it, but I'm confident. Trust me, work hard, and you'll capture water crystals." For 2 months, he repeatedly froze water and examined it under the microscope. Day after day, he observed ice, only to be disappointed. Meanwhile, I waited late at night to take him out for drinks. Fortunately, he enjoyed sake, which lifted his spirits even when the lab results fell short. Since I lacked the technical skills, my role was to encourage him. I motivated Mr. Ishibashi to persist in the lab. My wife often remarks that it's fortunate Mr. Ishibashi conducted the experiments, not me, given his perseverance. I agree. Our success in capturing the world's first water crystal image was due to his dedication. After 2 months, we finally photographed one crystal. I'll never forget Mr. Ishibashi's face when he rushed out of the lab holding the picture. Reflecting on our mindset, I realize both of us approached the challenge with pure intention. Initially doubtful, Mr. Ishibashi must have been swayed by my passion because he eventually shared my confidence. That's why water revealed its beauty to us. Had our motive been profit, I doubt water would have responded to such a grasping spirit by forming crystals. As we continued, we refined our methods. Later, we installed 3 large freezers, maintaining a constant -5 degrees Celsius, 23 degrees Fahrenheit. Our photographic method: expose water in a glass bottle to information, words, images, or music. Place droplets on 50 petri dishes, 5 centimeters or 2 inches in diameter. Freeze at -25 degrees Celsius, -13 degrees Fahrenheit for 3 hours. Examine ice grains under a microscope as they melt. Not all droplets form crystals. Some are beautiful, others collapsed, and some show none. Statistical analysis reveals patterns, confirming that crystal formation reflects water quality. Natural tap and mineral water. Over time, I noticed natural water formed stunning crystals with free-flowing hexagonal structures. Tap water, especially chlorinated, often produced grotesque, fragmented shapes. This aligns with growing dissatisfaction over tap water in developed nations, where many turn to costly mineral water for safety and taste. Defining natural water. Some argue that truly natural water no longer exists due to human pollution. However, I define it as water filtered through the earth after rainfall. Findings on tap water. Tokyo's tap water produced no crystals. Other Japanese cities, Sapporo, Osaka, etc., also failed. Katano City, Osaka, was an exception. Its tap water, 60% groundwater, formed beautiful crystals. International cities, London, Paris, Rome, Hong Kong, Bangkok, generally had poor tap water. Vancouver, Buenos Aires, and Manaus stood out with crystal-forming tap water, likely due to proximity to natural sources. Mineral water concerns. Japan's natural water boom has led to expensive, sometimes polluted products. The 2003 Yokohama Hygiene Institute report found formaldehyde and acetaldehyde in some bottled waters, up to 80 times higher than tap water. Regulatory gaps. Mineral water, classified as a soft drink, has fewer safety standards than tap water. Despite this, some mineral waters still formed beautiful crystals. However, Western consumers are already shifting away due to contamination fears. Remineralized water. In Canada, I encountered remineralized water, distilled water with added minerals. This trend reflects distrust in natural mineral content. Consciousness changes water. My hypothesis: water's crystal structure varies based on received information. To test this, I labeled 2 bottles. Thank You formed beautiful hexagonal crystals. You Fool produced fragmented, ugly shapes. This confirmed that water responds to human intention. If water collects information and its crystals reflect those characteristics, it means that water's quality changes based on the information it receives. In other words, the information we give to water alters its quality. This realization motivated me more than ever to study water, and I began to consider how people could achieve happiness through good water. Water understands words. Since this experiment confirmed my theory, we began exposing water to various words, freezing it, and photographing the resulting crystals. The results were fascinating. We consistently observed that water responded to positive words by forming beautiful crystals. As if expressing joy, the crystals blossomed like flowers. Conversely, when exposed to negative words, water either failed to form crystals or produced fragmented, distorted shapes. For example, happiness formed balanced, diamond-like crystals. Unhappiness resulted in broken, unbalanced crystals, as if the water struggled to crystallize before collapsing. We tested pairs of opposing words: well done versus no good, like versus dislike, power versus powerless, angel versus devil, peace versus war. In every case, water only formed complete crystals when exposed to positive words. Interestingly, water also responded to foreign expressions of gratitude, though with slight variations compared to Japanese. Beautiful crystals formed for thank you, English, duoxi, Chinese, merci, French, danke, German, grazie, Italian, kamsahamnida, Korean. See Figure 1.5. Water appears to fundamentally understand the essence of what it is shown, in this case, the feeling of gratitude, and internalizes this information. Water doesn't perceive words as mere visual patterns. Rather, it comprehends their meaning. When water recognizes that a word carries positive meaning, it forms crystals. This suggests water may even sense the intention behind the words written by a person. As we exposed water to various words and photographed the resulting crystals, one particular image captivated me more than any other. Its beauty was mesmerizing. The crystal had opened fully like a blossoming flower, as if the water was stretching out its arms in joyful expression. The words we had shown to this water were love and gratitude. Since that discovery, we've communicated with water using many kind words, shown it beautiful images, and played healing music, but we've never again captured a water crystal as stunning as the one formed in response to love and gratitude. See Figure 1.6. To water, these words must represent the most beneficial information possible. We are water. My research clearly demonstrates that water's quality improves or deteriorates based on the information it receives. This led me to realize that we humans are similarly affected by information, since our adult bodies consist of 70% water. At conception, a fertilized egg is 96% water. Newborns are about 80% water. As we mature, this percentage decreases, stabilizing at approximately 70% in adulthood. Essentially, we live our lives as mostly water. It is our fundamental substance. Our existence both begins and ends with water. A developing fetus mirrors humanity's evolutionary journey from sea life to our current form. The amniotic fluid's composition resembles seawater, and the fetus essentially waits in this personal ocean, breathing through the umbilical cord and placenta. Water remains significant at life's conclusion as well. In Japan, we traditionally moisten a dying person's lips with water using cotton or shikimi leaves, praying for their revival. This custom acknowledges water as life's source. In our research, water crystals don't form immediately upon freezing. Through the microscope, we observe their gradual development over 1 to 2 minutes, much like flowers blooming. The entire process from formation to disappearance lasts about 2 minutes. To me, this beautifully symbolizes life's precious transients: childhood growth, adult maturity, and eventual passing. Water truly reflects life itself. If water's quality changes based on received information, then we humans, being mostly water, should similarly seek positive input. Good information promotes health, while negative information may cause illness. Fundamentally, we are water. Consuming high-quality water helps maintain our well-being, though pure water has become increasingly scarce. The 20th century saw wars fought over oil, fire. Many predict the 21st century will see conflicts over water. During the fire-dominated 20th century, we burned vast energy resources to support exploding populations, from 1.5 billion in 1900 to 6 billion by 2000. The resulting toxic byproducts contaminated our atmosphere, spreading across the northern hemisphere as polluted rain that penetrated deep into the earth. The water cycle and environmental hope. Water circulates in 30 to 50-year cycles, meaning the groundwater we drink today fell as rain decades ago. As global industrial output surged after World War II, air pollution intensified. Now, 60 years later, we're forced to use water contaminated by that era's pollution for some time to come. The impending scarcity of clean water may trigger violent conflicts over remaining resources. But what value would water hold if obtained through warfare? Even if physically unpolluted, such water would carry the negative energy of conflict. Just as our experiments showed, water cannot form crystals after being exposed to the word war. A promising trend. Despite this grim outlook, there's reason for hope. Japan's rainwater quality demonstrates nature's remarkable healing capacity when we address pollution conscientiously. Our longitudinal studies reveal significant improvements in rainwater quality compared to just a few years ago. While groundwater continues deteriorating, rainwater is becoming cleaner. Several years ago, we sampled rainwater across Japan: Biei, Hokkaido's rural landscape; Sendai, Tokorozawa, Saitama Prefecture; Asakusabashi, Tokyo; Osaka, Fukuoka. Initially, only Osaka's sample showed faint crystalline structure. Surprisingly, Biei's rainwater, though collected in a pristine rural area, showed poor quality due to atmospheric damage from acid rain and ozone depletion. When we repeated the study years later, all locations except Tokyo's Asakusabashi showed crystalline formation. The transformation in Tokorozawa was particularly striking, from grotesque shapes to clear hexagonal crystals. While Tokyo's sample hadn't fully crystallized, it showed clear attempts at formation, appearing exhausted but determined. See Figure 1.7. This remarkable improvement reflects Japan's environmental efforts. As public awareness grew and anti-pollution measures took effect, air quality improved dramatically. Rainwater now falls through cleaner air, reaching the ground less contaminated. This positive trend offers genuine hope for environmental recovery. The long path to clean water. Because water cycles through 30 to 50-year periods, we must wait decades before today's cleaner rainwater replenishes our drinking supplies. For now, we should anticipate further groundwater deterioration before conditions improve. Yet, this timeline gives us compelling reason to address environmental challenges urgently for both our planet and future generations. The lesson of love and gratitude. Let us recall how water exposed to these words formed exquisite crystals. This remarkable response reveals water's potential as a guide for living well and maintaining physical and mental health. As we continue exploring water's true power, we'll keep these crystalline formations at the heart of our understanding, a luminous reminder of nature's wisdom and our connection to it. Chapter 2. Understanding water's power to transform mind and body. Water and Hado. Water possesses a remarkable sensitivity to Hado, a subtle form of energy that influences water quality and crystal formation. In my previous book, The Hidden Messages in Water, Hado was translated as wave fluctuation. In this work, I expand this definition to encompass all subtle energies present throughout the universe. Every entity in existence carries its own vibrational signature, or Hado. This energy exists on a spectrum from positive to negative and readily transfers between objects. For example, when water receives the negative Hado of the thought, "you fool," it forms deformed, incomplete crystals. When exposed to positive Hado, water creates stunning crystalline structures. This phenomenon demonstrates how Hado fundamentally governs water's responsiveness to information. The tuning fork principle. A simple experiment with tuning forks perfectly illustrates Hado in action. Setup: 3 tuning forks. Forks 1 and 2, 440 Hz. Fork 3, 442 Hz. Action: strike fork 1 with a rubber hammer. Result: fork 2, 440 Hz, immediately resonates and produces sound. Fork 3, 442 Hz, remains silent. This occurs because objects only resonate when their vibrational frequencies match. See Figure 2.1. Similarly, water responds most powerfully to Hado that aligns with its natural vibrational state. Also, forks 1 and 2 have a frequency of 440 Hz, which means the sound they produce is lay in C major or A above middle C. This explanation demonstrates that Hado is energy. When two things share the same frequency, they resonate with each other. This makes it clear that as humans, we can generate our own Hado, and other things with similar Hado can resonate with us. Conversely, we can also resonate with Hado from other sources. Every object possesses its own intrinsic vibration. Here, objects refers to everything from molecules that form materials to atoms that compose molecules and subatomic particles that make up atoms. In other words, each subatomic particle has its own intrinsic vibration. Our minds and bodies are influenced by which intrinsic vibrations we resonate with. In human relationships, we often say we are or aren't on the same wavelength with someone. This concept relates directly to vibration and resonance. In workplaces, you might encounter situations like this. An employee thinks, "I know my boss is a nice person, but we're not on the same wavelength. I find it difficult to work with him." Similarly, the boss might feel, "He works hard, but I don't like his approach." These individuals are clearly on different wavelengths. No matter how hard they try to cooperate, their efforts may prove futile. However, if they focus on tuning into each other's Hado, considering things from the other's perspective, they can achieve mutual understanding. A classic example of Hado in human relationships occurs when a man and woman meet and fall in love. Their Hados align and create resonance. As long as external factors, like infidelity, don't disrupt their Hado, their relationship will endure. Conversely, if one person's Hado becomes disturbed, behaviors and traits once acceptable may suddenly become intolerable, potentially ending the relationship. This demonstrates how Hado at the subatomic level affects us. Hado medicine. Some time ago, I encountered a radionics device capable of measuring various bodily vibrations at the cellular level. I developed an affinity for this device and learned to use it beyond its intended purpose, specifically to measure Hado. My experience with this Hado device revealed water's capacity to receive information and led me to study Hado medicine, an alternative practice developed by researchers who recognized the limitations of conventional Western medicine. While the device aided my Hado medicine studies, I came to believe humans can sense and transmit Hado as effectively as, if not better than, the device can measure it. For instance, effective healers and counselors likely possess the ability to transmit positive vibrations that correct their patients' abnormal vibrational patterns. Hado medicine operates on two fundamental principles: vibration and resonance. When cellular vibrations in different body parts become disrupted, our bodies can go astray. In such cases, introducing a new external vibration that resonates with the disturbed cell can restore its intrinsic vibration. This is Hado medicine in essence. But how is vibration corrected? Hado manifests as waves with peaks and valleys. By applying an inverse wave pattern, valleys where there were peaks and peaks where there were valleys, the wave can be neutralized. See Figure 2.2. Overlaying waves in this manner cancels their characteristics. Let me illustrate with sound waves, an easily understandable example of Hado. Sound waves also have peaks and valleys. When an inverse wave pattern is applied, the original sound wave cancels out, making the sound disappear. You might think this can't be true, but scientists researching quiet environments actively use this principle. On April 10, 1991, the evening Yomiuri newspaper published an article titled "Using Sound to Silence Noise: Opposite Waves Cancel Noise," reporting practical applications of Hado principles. The article stated, Dr. Yoshio Yamasaki of Waseda University's Science and Engineering Laboratory successfully created a silent space within a music-filled room. This new silencing method uses counteracting sound waves to neutralize noise, with potential applications in karaoke bars and offices, possibly creating quiet zones near telephones. All sounds, whether music or voices, have characteristic wave patterns. This method analyzes a sound's wave pattern, then generates an inverse wave to cancel it. The experiment used a 126 square foot room, 7 tatami mats. Researchers analyzed music waves from one speaker, then generated inverse waves through 2 other speakers. Results showed complete sound cancellation at target locations, with significant noise reduction several inches away. Lower frequencies, under several hundred hertz, including male voices and music fundamentals, were effectively eliminated. Additional speakers could expand the silent area. These findings were presented at the 1991 International Symposium on Active Control of Sound and Vibration in Tokyo. Dr. Yamasaki noted, "This method uses sound to cancel sound. For phone calls, only localized silencing is needed. The technique has broad applications." This wave cancellation principle has since been applied to reduce engine noise in vehicles and industrial equipment. Crucially, this principle extends beyond sound. All Hado operates similarly. Hado medicine applies this concept, using counter vibrations to restore health, with water playing a vital role. While I actively promote Hado concepts through lectures and writing, my current schedule prevents personal involvement in Hado testing. 20 trained practitioners now provide these services across Japan. Our process involves measuring a person's Hado vibrations, identifying disturbances, preparing water imprinted with corrective vibrations, having the person drink this Hado water to restore balance. Through thousands of measurements, I've identified consistent connections between emotions and physical ailments. A 1995 study of 100 people revealed stress correlates with intestinal issues. Worry affects cervical nerves. Irritability disrupts the parasympathetic nervous system. Excessive fear impacts kidneys. Anxiety manifests in stomach problems. This confirms the adage, worry causes illness. Emotional improvement often precedes physical recovery. The medical placebo effect demonstrates this principle. In drug trials, many placebo group patients improve despite receiving no active medication. While modern science can't fully explain this, positive thinking clearly influences health. A simple Hado correction method. Identify negative emotions. State their antonyms, relaxing for stress. Write these positive words on water containers. Drink the imprinted water. For this book, we conducted experiments labeling water with emotional words, then photographing the crystals. Water exposed to negative terms like stress formed distorted crystals, while subsequent exposure to antonyms, relaxation, produced beautiful formations. Truly, seeing is believing. See Figure 2.3. Illness also has Hado. Through my research, I've reached several conclusions about illness and Hado. The human body contains organs composed of cells, which are made of molecules, which in turn consist of atoms and subatomic particles. Each subatomic particle carries its own intrinsic Hado vibration. When these vibrations remain normal, the body stays healthy. However, disturbances at the subatomic level can create abnormalities that escalate over time. Subatomic disturbances affect atomic vibrations. Atomic disturbances affect molecular vibrations. Molecular disturbances, after 1 to 2 years, affect cellular vibrations. At the cellular level, symptoms emerge through pain, fatigue, or fever when most people first consult doctors. Our bodies possess remarkable self-healing abilities. A simple cold often resolves with rest, especially when combined with positive thinking. This demonstrates the placebo effect in action. When a trusted doctor's reassurance, "It's just a cold, rest well," eliminates anxiety, allowing natural healing. However, when vibrational disturbances go uncorrected, after 1 to 2 years, cellular disturbances affect organs. After 5 to 10 years, chronic diseases may develop. Early intervention is crucial. As the saying goes, worry is often the cause of illness. Simple mood changes can prevent minor disturbances from becoming serious conditions. Western medicine versus Hado medicine. While conventional medicine plays an important role, drugs clinically proven effective, treats symptoms at cellular level. Hado medicine addresses the root cause, corrects vibrations at subatomic level, uses water as an ideal information carrier, penetrating where drugs cannot. For example, aspirin relieves headaches by analyzing pain's wave pattern, generating canceling waves, valleys matching pain's peaks, neutralizing the abnormal vibration. The human body's 60 trillion cells, along with their molecules, atoms, and subatomic particles, function like an orchestra. When all vibrations harmonize, we experience health. A single disturbance creates discord. Injuries follow Hado principles. Whether internal, disease, or external injury, both result from vibrational deviations. Injuries occur when external forces deliver abnormal vibrations. Cells cannot adapt to rapid vibrational changes. Inflammation or tissue damage results. Temperature reflects vibrational frequency. Impacts feel hot because they disrupt the body's stable vibrational environment, maintained at approximately 36.5 degrees Celsius or 97.7 degrees Fahrenheit. Ultimately, vibration equals life. The moment our heart stops beating, losing its rhythm, we're pronounced dead. Notably, the kanji character for life, Ming, incorporates the radical for beat or rhythm. In the next chapter, I'll detail Hado measurement techniques and share remarkable recovery stories through vibrational correction. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for part 2. Peace, blessings, and much love and enlightenment to you all.